Welcome everyone to another episode of Ranting with Ramos. I'm your host, Jose Ramos. How's everyone doing out there? Thanks for checking in. It's another episode where last minute I'm dropping something, but yeah, at least I'm coming out with something. I want to be consistent, but because I had a little emergency, I was supposed to record with other people last Thursday, but I had a little emergency, like I mentioned. But I said, fuck it. It's Sunday night. Had a pretty eventful weekend, and might as well drop something, that way, like I said, just to be consistent. But I noticed my latest one, people still don't want to hear about fucking the C word, the C19 word, but it's all good. But shout out to all of you who do listen and have an open mind, especially the ones that have been vaccinated. That's cool, you truly are having open mind. So that's something to be admired, because a lot of people don't have that. They're just fucking one-sided and shit. So that's really, really cool to see. It's encouraging, but yeah, so it was a pretty eventful weekend. So you know what, let me go over what happened last week. So last week we were gonna record songs to save your life. We're gonna record about 5 episodes, and also once I was done with the guests that were on, I was like, who wants to jump on and shit, So we ended up I fucking went to work early. I did all my work, the way it's supposed to be done, and just I just fucking finished everything on time, and so I finished at 3 o'clock. By 3 o'clock I was done with all my work, but I kind of felt like maybe they're gonna work is gonna tell me like, hey, you have to come for a fucking meeting, which is usually what they do. And they tried doing that. My boss tried doing that and shit. He's like, hey, Jose, I need you to be here at 4 o'clock the day of, on Thursday, right on Thursday. He fucking he wanted me to come down, and I was like, you know what, I don't have time, like I have an appointment at 4 o'clock, and I can't make it. And so he didn't say anything. He just ignored my text. And I'm like, well, you know what? Like, no matter what, they can't make me show up just fucking on short notice. If there was if it was like a what's that shit called? If there was like an emergency or something like that, then yeah, it's like, okay, you can force me to show up because there's an emergency, but it was no emergency. I don't even know what the hell it was. So he's like, oh, come down at 4 o'clock to the office. And you know what, I can't make it. He's like, okay, well, how about tomorrow at fucking 8:30? Okay. So I end up going to oh no, I'm fucking jumping ahead. So it's Thursday. I fucking finish up. I'm home early, and I'm like, fuck yeah, it's 3:30. I told my wife, you know what, let's go, because right when I got there, it was time to go pick up my daughter. So I told my wife, you know what, fuck it, pick me up here. I'm at the truck. So she picked me up, and we went to get my daughter. And then we were about to go home. I said, you know what, let's go to fucking Grocery Warehouse. There's some beer that I want to get, because I had saw it at a different location. So I'm thinking, you know what, maybe they have the same fucking beer. So we went, Looked around. Didn't have the beer. So like, oh, fuck, they don't have it. All right, cool. So while we were leaving, they had some impulse items. They had like some Halloween candy and shit, which is still, the candy's still good. It's just not Halloween anymore, so they have to sell it. So they had some Twix that had like some ghosts and scary, Halloween shit, right? So okay, so they're like, how much is it? Oh, it's fucking 50 cents. Oh, fuck it. So we took like 4 of them, and then keep in mind at 6 o'clock I need to meet up with the homies, so I still needed to take it home and take a shower, and I was gonna go pick up the pizza and shit, and sodas and be there, at the studio. So we ended up getting the candy bars, but before that, early in the day, I woke up really, really early because I wanted to finish up my work so I can finish. So the earlier I start, the earlier I can go home, which is why I got off at 3. So before that, what I did early in the morning is I got up and I went to a gas station, and I don't usually drink coffee because the caffeine really spikes up your fucking your blood pressure, everyone's blood pressure, So what I did was I put 3/4 of decaf, not even that, now that I think about it, it was like a quarter of the cup was fucking that shit. What the hell is it called? Creamer. It was creamer. It was like hazelnut creamer. So a quarter of the cup was hazelnut creamer, a little bit of sugar, and then I would say half of it was decaf, and a quarter was regular caffeinated, right? So it's barely got any caffeine in it. So I drank that, and then afterwards, maybe like half an hour later, I started feeling like kind of like my head was kind of hurting a little bit, and then my vision was going. It was kind of blurry, and this has been happening for years now, where all of a sudden it'll feel not completely blurry, because like I can see certain parts. Let's say, for example, you think of your eye as the clock. I'm gonna divide it up that way, right? Let's say between like 7 and 4, between 7 and 4, that area is blurry. The rest of your eye can see, but that area is blurry. So in order to see that area, I'd have to turn my head to the right, and then that way I can see. But besides that, it's like you're looking clear, but like, let's say there's a lens and there's water at the bottom, and it looks kind of like a bubble of water that doesn't allow you to see. That's how it looks, and from both eyes in the same area. So that's how I felt, and I continued to work and shit. I mean, keep in mind, my job is not like laborious, but it's just kind of stressful, and sometimes you gotta do a lot of stuff, like check base stations and stuff like that. So that's kind of what takes a little longer, and there's a lot of bending down, standing up, bending down, getting up, and so I felt like that, right? I felt weird, and the day went by. For lunch, I didn't feel like eating any food because I knew I was gonna pig out and eat pizza later and beer. So what I did is I ended up, since I was at the mall servicing the pretzel place, Auntie Annie's, I ended up getting a fucking pretzel. So that's all I ate was a fucking pretzel, and so I ate the pretzel, and I think it got me like a soda and shit. And that's what I ate, and I was fine. I didn't feel weird. Like, I didn't feel like my blood pressure went up or anything like that. So I felt fine and shit. So, the day ended, and then, flashback forward to what I was talking about. I'm all over the fucking place today. Sorry. So we're at the store. We buy those candy bars. But before that, I had a couple days before that, I had eaten at that fucking Raising Cane's chicken, which they sell like those deep fried fucking chicken strips, and it comes with a gang of fries, and then the fucking like a piece of toast. That's really like those whenever you buy a lobster roll, or if you buy a hot dog that's like from back east, based on those pictures they show, it's pretty much a rectangular roll that's about 2 inches thick. They split the top of it, But here they don't split it, but this is how they use it. They use that as a bun. And so they butter the sides, they butter one side, and they toast it up, and it comes with that, right? So you're eating a roll that's got a bunch of fucking butter in it. You're eating some fucking deep fried fries, and I only get the 4-piece of chicken. I could eat 6. I said, you know what, fuck it, I'll just get 4. So it's called the box. 4 pieces of chicken. It comes with the fucking with the Raisin Cane's, like that special sauce, which is like, it's like buffalo sauce with mayo and ketchup and pepper and some garlic salt. That's how they make it. I've made it before. And so I ate that a couple days before. And then, so I'm thinking that's just catching up, because you're just adding all this fat and kinds of fucking unhealthy eating and shit. It just caught up, right? And every morning I take my medicine. I make sure I take my blood pressure medicine. So I'm thinking that's what happened. That's why I felt kind of weird. So when we were at the liquor store, at the fucking store, I was telling my wife, you know what? I feel kind of fucking weird. Like, my vision's, blurry and shit. But she's used to me saying that. So she's okay. So the vision was blurry. And, just from, like, I think it's just an accumulation and shit. So, and prior to that, too, like, I had been blowing my nose and shit, because I guess I still have mucus, so I'm blowing my nose. And everything I do it, like, to the fullest. Like, if I fucking sneeze, I fucking sneeze. I let that shit out. If I fucking blow my nose, I blow the shit out of my nose, Like, I'm like a savage at shit like that. Not really like how people use the word now, like, oh, you're savage. Like, nah, I'm like a fucking savage, like a fucking animal, like a fucking beast at shit, beast mode. But yeah, that's who I am, everything I do is like that. I don't know my own strength. I'm just a fucking brute sometimes, so I'm blowing the fuck out of my nose, and I had been picking my nose with with a tissue, because I don't like using my finger. So I had done that, so I don't know. So then I'm saying all this to say this. So I ate the candy bar, and it was 2 little pieces, right? It comes in a pack and shit. Like, it's a Kit Kat, so it's got the fucking cracker at the bottom, and it's got the caramel and the fucking chocolate. So I finished the 2 pieces of candy, and I would say not even a minute later, I'm sitting chugging, and my kids are in the back, my wife's driving. All of a sudden I said, what the fuck? So I feel like something running down my nose, and it felt like watery, and I think I felt that before. And it's like when you get that nasal drip, I guess because your allergies and that shit, right? So that's what it felt like, right? The last time I felt that was 2019 in October, and the same thing happened to me, which I'm going to tell you right now. So that shit's dripping at my wife. What the fuck? It's fucking dripping, And all of a sudden I stick my hand out around my chest level to catch whatever it was. I look at it, it's fucking blood. My wife's like, oh my God, right? She got all scared and shit, because the same thing happened to me in 2019. So fuck, that shit's fucking bleeding like crazy. And I'm all, give me a fucking napkin. So us Mexicans, man, we got fucking napkins. Whenever we go to restaurants, we get stacks of Chipotle fucking napkins, or King Taco napkins, or whatever napkins we have left over. We put them in our dashboard or on the side of our door. So she pulls out from her door, she gives me a rough ass King Taco napkin, and I kind of fold it so it's like shaped like a finger, and I shove it up my nose, right? So it's up my nose, and now, since I'm blocking the blood from coming down my nose, it's falling in the back of my throat. So the fucking blood is just fucking dripping and dripping and dripping in the back of my throat like crazy, right? Now, at this point, I'm not scared, because I've had this happen before, so I'm not scared at all, because this shit's happened. It happened, like I said, 2 years ago. So this is happening. It's leaking. I'm calm. I remain calm. My wife's still kind of, scared, because it's fucking crazy. Your husband is fucking saying his his vision's blurry, and all of a sudden he's leaking blood uncontrollably, and it's dripping to the back of his throat and shit, right? So we end up going to Ralph's, and I look for to see if they have the high blood pressure machine. Not the high blood, but just the blood pressure shit, right? The one that grips your bicep, right? Usually for me, I've got to go up to my my forearm because my arm is fucking huge. I got big biceps. So usually I do it that way, and it's the same thing. So we go. Actually, no, we went to CVS. And CVS didn't have it anymore because of COVID. I guess you can catch COVID if you fucking use a machine, I guess, so supposedly. So, fuck. I said, you know what? I think fucking Ralph's has one. And all this time, I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me have another fucking tissue. So I pull out the napkin, and it's fucking just drenched in blood. It just looks like a fucking, like a finger, the shape of a finger up your nose, or the shape of the canal in your nose canal. And it's just full of fucking blood, right? So my wife's fucking tripping out. I was like, oh shit. She gives me another piece, put it in my nose, and I go to Ralph's with her, and I hop on the machine. I said, look, if it's like 180, 190, then this causes it. If it's like 150, 140, that's fucking normal, because I walk around with the 140. I wake up with 140. So, normal is 120. Anything above, they're gonna say it's high blood pressure, right? So boom, I check it, and it was at 152, right? And while you're checking it, if you're thinking about crazy shit, if you're not relaxed, your mind is somewhere else. If someone passes by, if you breathe heavy, if you fucking inhale and your stomach gets full of air and you come down, it affects the result, right? So I was like, you know what? Let me try it again, because this is a motherfucker that passed by and fucking made some noise and shit. And so I try it again, and it ends up being 150, and the heart rate was normal and shit, right? So I'm like, see, like, it's not that high, Ma. It's fucking high. It's not normal, but it's not alarming like we're fucked. Like how, when I went to the hospital 2 years ago, that shit was like at 190, I believe, almost 200. And these motherfuckers, all they did when I went to the hospital, and they gave me some medicine, but it was fucking weak. It was like 5 milligrams. Like, I later found out that was fucking weak, because when I went to my normal doctor, I started going to a doctor after that. And because before that, I wasn't taking any fucking blood pressure medicine. I was like, you know what, fuck this shit. I don't want to have fucking erectile dysfunction, which thank God I have never had a problem with that. But I know with the continued use of this medicine, they could lead to that, right? And I would rather be dead than that shit not work anymore, right? Because why be alive? Nah, just kidding. Well, as a guy, you worry about that shit. You know what I mean? There's other ways to please a woman, and which I'm very good at. But I mean that's the number one thing is, you want to be able to use your part. So I stopped taking it, and I think that's why it was so high, because I stopped taking medication. Right now I'm taking medication, so it kind of helps, but eventually, not having to use that shit because your blood pressure is low because you've lost weight is what's gonna stop you from using that motherfucker in the first place, right? So when it first happened 2 years ago, my problem is, if you listen to the podcast, is I'm not afraid to die. That's a fucked up thing, So because of that, I'm kind of careless. In some things I'm careless, and some things I care a lot, like I care a lot about my family. But me speaking like this seems like I don't, because I'm not making a difference, right? But so 2 years ago, when my wife's sitting across from me, and what I had to do is the same thing. I stuck a paper up there. But I noticed that by sticking the paper up there, it was forcing the blood to go to my throat. So what I did was I grabbed the fucking double big gulp, and I put it over my nose and my mouth, and I was just catching the blood, right? And so, I was like, what the fuck? I went to the hospital. They didn't do shit. All they did was give me some cheap-ass medicine, which my doctor told me, you know what? This is a fucking joke, what they gave you. They gave you some cheap, weak-ass medicine that is not even going to help you. And then once the blood stopped, they let me go home. So my understanding was that the blood pressure was so high that because the veins in the nose, they're not as thick or as big as other veins, so they were easily burst. That's why people's veins in their eyes burst sometimes, because they're so thin. They don't handle the pressure. So that's what happened, and it was like almost 4 o'clock already. And I have this podcast that we're going to meet up at in 2 hours, right? A lot of the people live 2 hours away, live an hour and a half away. So I had to make a decision to my wife. You know what? I'm going to call them and let them know. This was before I checked my pressure. and I'm gonna let these guys know that I have a little emergency. I took a picture of my hand. It was all fucking full of blood and shit. And as I took a picture, I said, "Look, guys, I have an emergency." Everyone was cool. Everyone was really. They all understood. They were cool. And so I let everybody know. And then they're like, "Oh, you know what? It's cool, man. Like, no rush. You know, we can postpone. There's no you know, there's no big issue about it. You know, it's cool, man." But me, the way I am, I want to the show must go on. I gotta go. You know, these guys are counting on me. I don't like to postpone shit. I don't like to do none of that. You know, I lead by example. I teach my kids that. You know, like whenever you have a commitment or a bet or an arrangement, which is the name of the song. This song is called "The Arrangement." So when you have an arrangement, you can't break it. You know. Now, if the other person breaks it, or if they don't you know, do what they got to do, they don't keep their end of the bargain, then you have every right to back out of that because they've already broken the arrangement, you know, or the deal. So in this case, I said, or unless you have an emergency, which in this case is a fucking emergency, you know, a lesser man would have went to the fucking hospital, you know. But now, since it happened to me, I went to the hospital the first time, and I know that it was nothing. But I know people that go to the hospital just because they get pain in their heart, and I get that shit all the time. But I should go. But nah, man, when I went to the hospital, they fucking charged me $500 for the hospital, and the doctor charged me $500. So like, what the fuck is the point of my insurance? And like, how much? And you guys didn't do shit. I wasn't even there for half an hour. I was there for like 20 minutes. So then I ended up calling the guys, and my wife went into the store and she got me like some pomegranate juice that I drank, and this was like the good stuff. Like, it wasn't even sweet. It tasted like if you're biting into the rind and to the seeds. You know, there's like a seed in the pomegranate. It tasted like that. You ever to taste like the dirt, like the soil? It was good. It was like real. It was pretty expensive too. That's why, you know. And I think I still have some in the. But what that does, it helps clean out your blood platelets and your fucking in your veins and shit. So finally I said, you know what, guys, I was gonna go. My wife doesn't want me to go. I wasn't trying to blame her. I was just like, you know what, she's really worried, you know. If it was up to me, I would go, but because realistically I'm just gonna sit there and, you know, maybe talk a little bit. But I guess after that happening to me, I guess I would have to rest and shit. You know what I mean? Also, that happens too because of all the stress, not eating right, and I was really stressed out because since I got sick with the flu, I was out for those 5 days. I had to fucking make those days up, and finally I made those days up. So yeah, man. I had to cancel that, but we're gonna reschedule it. It's gonna be cool and shit. But sometimes I think, you know what, shit happens for a reason, and you can't force it, you know. So I didn't want to force it. I was like, fuck it, all right, you know. In the end, I was like, you know what? I told my wife, I'm not mad at you. You know, it's not your fucking fault. You just scared. I said, hey, but what if I go record and you're there waiting? So she's gonna be there for like 4 fucking hours. I'm like, nah, it's fucked up. So, you know, I ended up staying home. And then, so the next day, I wake up early as well because I don't want to work fucking Saturday, because I wanted to go, because Saturday, the 20th was going to be the local Hearts Foundation Diamonds and Turkeys event, which they give away turkeys, they give away diamond supply to the kids, and a bunch of other things, you know, like hygiene materials, like deodorants and shampoos and a bunch of different things that they give away as well, and canned goods. It was really cool. So I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to go there for fucking 2 years, and something always comes up, you know. This time, even though I'm fucking tired and I need to rest a day, because I've been working, like the last Saturday I had to work because I had to catch up, you know, with my work. Like I mentioned, with my work, it doesn't get done. It's there waiting for me. And it's good that they didn't give it to anybody, because if I do all that work, I get paid. If someone else does it, I don't get paid for that work. So this like cutting my money, you know. So fuck it. I ended up doing all my work. I asked for no help. I took care of it. So I started early that day too as well. And my boss had said, okay, come see me at fucking 8:30. So I started like at 7, and I was able to do a job early in the morning that takes about an hour over there in by the 5 freeway and Telegraph. It was pretty much like it's by the Citadel, maybe like half a mile from Citadel. And after that, I drove to our branch. But before that, I stopped at 7-Eleven just to clean out my passenger side, because I had a couple of cups and shit, from restaurants, and a couple of wrappers and shit like that. I just fucking I don't have, some have a bag, some don't have a bag. So I pulled over, I grabbed that shit. That way, because sometimes they're like, hey, let's do a fucking truck inspection. And they'll check your truck, and you don't want to have fucking soda cups and shit like that, So I show up, and he's, hey, let's do a truck inspection. All right. So we do a truck inspection. They check, make sure all your lights work, make sure you have medical postings, make sure you have certain books. There's something called the SDS, MDS book, which has every chemical that you have in your truck. You have to have it in that book. And then they have like another book, which is like a training book. You got to make sure you have it at all times. So every month they ask you, oh, let me see that. Oh, do you have it? Okay, well, do you have that book? Okay, well, find me this chemical. Do you have suspend polysone in there? Yes, I do. It's right here. Okay. And then this time, since I had it, he goes, okay, well, let me see the 565. Yeah, it's right here. Oh, okay, cool, And that was cool. So we did it, and then we go to the back. We open up my truck, and I had a couple of bottles of like old chemical that's already empty bottles, but you have to rinse them out and throw them out and shit. He's like, oh, you know what, Mr. Rump? He's like, hey, let's look at your spill kit. You have your spill kit? I'm like, yeah, but it's right there. He's like, oh, let's open it up. So I opened it, and there's like some kind of like sawdust that you use to put on top of it. But it turns hard. It hardens. So mine was all hardened and shit. And he goes, oh, you know what? This would be a violation, because it was just some bucket that he seen it before, but he didn't say nothing about it, whatever the fuck was in there. And I go, oh, well, okay. Well, this bucket was in there. I just had it, whatever. So he's, oh, you know what? I'm going to get you a new one. He's like, but you know what? Based on what this is, he's like, man, like right now, if I was the ag department, I would be looking for a bunch of things on your truck to bust you. I said, you know what, man, since I'm here, let me clean it out. So I ended up cleaning out my truck. It took me like 45 minutes. I took everything out. I swept it. Just made it look clean, so everything's organized. So then I kept working, and after, that kind of slowed me down about an hour and a half, cleaning my truck and talking to the boss. So then I went back, but I ended up finishing. I told my wife, you know what, I intend on working till like 6 if I have to, just so I can finish all this extra work, so I can, not work on Saturday. So once that happened, and my boss was like, oh, cool, enjoy your weekend and shit. It was cool, So then I told my wife, hey, you know what, I wanted to go to that fucking Diamonds and Turkeys, I wanted to go out about and shit. How do you feel about that, She was, oh yeah, let's go. I'm like, hey, but it's gonna be hard work, I'll just go by myself. He said, no, let's go. I said, but you gotta fucking wake up early. You gotta wake up at fucking 5 o'clock or 5:30 if you're gonna take a shower and all that shit, right? So she's like, yeah, that's fine. I'm like, are you sure? Because I don't want you to. We have to be there at 7:30. I don't want you to make me late. That's not cool. Like, if I say I'm gonna be somewhere at a certain time, but then if you have a wife, you have to wait for her to get ready. And she doesn't take a long ass time, but sometimes she was tired she didn't want to wake up and shit. So I woke up at 5:30. I was like, hey, you want to go first or I go? She's like, oh, you go. So I took a shower, got out. I was like, hey, it's time to get up, And she got up right away. Usually she's like, oh, she doesn't want to wake up, but she got up, she got ready, and then while she was taking a shower, I was just fucking laying in bed. That's usually what I do, because I get ready fast. I don't comb my hair anymore. I just wear hats. So I just throw on my pants, deodorant. Vámonos. So once she got out and she was dressed, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go fucking grab the car real quick, and I'm gonna park in the back, and we're gonna take off. All right? I'm like, that way, we buy some time. So she got ready fast, and we came back, took off. We ended up getting to the event like at 7:38, so we weren't that late. We ended up getting there, and I saw Hood Santa, Tito, and HG Chong, his homie, and give him a fist bump. Because this is my first time there. I don't know what the hell I got to do. I do know that Hood Santa gets pretty busy on those events. I know his brother is the one who usually runs it, and he is in charge. And then Hood Santa just he's like shaking hands, talking to people and stuff, because it's too busy for him to try to run anything, like it's crazy. There's a lot of work to be done, So we're like, okay, I was trying to see who I can help, and then I wore like a Morrissey shirt because I knew that they had T-shirts there that you could throw on, So there's a tent. So me and my wife were like walking around, and his homie Ichi-chan goes, hey, there's some waters over there. If you want to help, bring them and stuff, right? So we're looking for the water. I couldn't find them, so I ended up signing up. We signed up and went into the restroom, changed into the shirts, and then we went back to our car, put the shirts away, and then we just started like helping. Then my wife started helping with like bagging like canned stuff. There was like bags where they were putting like tomato sauce and spaghetti and rice and different things like that. She was in that station, and then I was over here in the station with the turkeys. You get like a black bag in each hand, and then the guys who have the turkeys put a turkey in there in each one, and then you turn and you put them on the table, and then people keep picking them up from there. So we did that, and then once we were done with all the turkeys, I ended up looking around. Okay, what else can I do? So then I went to my wife's station, and then I started helping her, like bringing her boxes of pasta, like all the heavy shit. And then I would just get what's it called, pasta sauce, and put it in the bag, and that's the first thing. It was cool. We just kept busy, like nonstop, that way the faster you work, you can finish up, and that way they can start it. The cool thing is there was a lot of volunteers, and there's also going to be one in December, so it was cool. We had fun, it felt good to help out too, like to volunteer your time, and just like Hood Santa's brother said, like you could have been at home sleeping, but instead you decided to come spend your day here to help others, so it was pretty cool. They had a couple of speeches before they started, and then there's a little kid, I can't think of his name right now. A couple years ago, he was in the line to get a turkey and to get free stuff, and now his family is doing better, so he decided to help. And this little kid, I've seen him to all the events that I go to. I always see him there, like the street vendor events to sell out to street vendors. He's always there, which is a cool thing, it's inspirational. And then as a kid that young, that's gonna be in his heart already to help people out, which is really cool, because he needed help once, and now they're in a position where they can help people, so now they're helping people out. So that was really, really cool. I saw a couple of people that I know that was there. There was shout out Brisa and the homie Leo Cortina were there. Mega Man was there. Long Beach Carlos was there, but we were so busy that I didn't have a chance to introduce myself to him. I don't think he recognized me, but we're so busy. He was passing me turkeys, and I was bagging them up, but we, were too busy to introduce myself to him. And am I forgetting anybody else? I don't think so. That I know, no. But it was cool. A lot of local people from Long Beach were there. There's people that flew out of state to come and help. I think from Chicago. Some people came from Riverside. So that's really cool to see. Yeah, you get really, really sore. It just depends on how hard you're working, So we just kept working, and then I don't know if around 12:30 they ended up bringing pizza. They bought some fucking, what is that thing called? Little Caesars pizza, right? And my kids like that pizza. I think it's okay, but this pizza, we're hungry. And then Brisa was like, hey, I'll bring a pizza right now, guys. So she was cool. She's like, I don't care, man, Like, she was cool. Like, hey, I don't care what people say. So she went there and she bought a pizza, and she was handing it out to people. And man, that pizza, no lie, it tasted delicious. I don't know if it was because I was starving or how they make it, but no, I think it's how they make it. Because every place, no matter what, even if it's a franchise, they make it different. It just depends who makes it. This one had a lot of sauce. It was bomb. I ended up eating 2 slices, and I was cool with that. And drank some water, and that was cool. And then I think the event ended up ending like 135, 145, and then we ended up throwing away cardboard. And then after that, we ended up taking off, and we were looking for somewhere to eat because we were hungry. But I couldn't find any place in Long Beach and stuff. And I hit up the homie, but he was busy. So by the time he responded to me, I was gone. I hit up the homie Leo, and he told me about the garage tacos, which I've heard of before. But I had left, we had already left. We were already we were already by the bicycle casino already. So we ended up eating something over here. But it was cool, man. I mean, there's going to be, like I said, there's going to be a Christmas one. If you guys want to go out and support and help out, it'd be really, really cool. I don't think it's going to be as heavy or as hard because there's no turkeys involved. I think it's all mainly just toys and donating toys and giving out toys, and they're going to give out diamond stuff again too. So it'd be cool if you guys go out there and support and help out. It feels good, man. It feels really, really good helping people out. And and I don't do it for me to get help or the clout. I didn't even record anything. I mean, the homegirl Brisa was recording the activities, and I was working right there. But it was cool, it's cool to it's cool to show it and support too, record the people and stuff like that. But there was also like some people that were like just they didn't even go do anything. They just want to go fucking record and show themselves doing shit, but they weren't doing nothing, But there's people that were recording, but that actually did stuff, and that's cool, But they weren't doing it to show themselves. I'm just saying, like, some people do show up just to fucking, hey, we're right here, and but they don't do anything. But it was cool. It was a really, 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 really cool experience. I would recommend if you've never done anything like that to go do it. It feels good, man. You see the people, the smiles on their faces, how happy they feel. Receiving the food and the help. We all need help. We're all gonna need help once in our lives. Pray to God that you don't. But there's people that end up being humble. They don't need help ever, and then later on in life they end up needing help. That's just the way the world works. But the experience was really cool. Again, like I said, we got a really cool T-shirt with the turkey on it, and he's got like a diamond gold chain. So it was really, really cool, and I'm looking forward to the Christmas one too. That's gonna be really, really cool. And then hopefully this fucking week coming up, I'll have a guest. I just been out of it, man. I just been out of it. Real busy with work. That's the main thing that's been consuming me is work. And that's why I've just been doing these ones that are just solo. Yeah, so that's why I just been doing these solo ones. Cause I've been kind of out of it. Like fuck, not really feeling like anything. Like fuck, and just want to rest. Because it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of time. And also, even like right now, we're watching football. We're watching Sunday Night Football, and I don't know how to tell my wife. Like, I kept thinking, fuck, how do I do it? I'm gonna tell her real quick that I'm gonna fucking record an episode. Not that she gets mad about it, but I just felt like guilty. Like guilty that I was gonna like leave her there by herself while she's fucking watching TV, because you do take time out of your family, this time that I'm here. But she understands that for me, like I said, it's therapeutic. It feels good. It feels like I'm actually doing something. I have even though I do a bunch of different things, like I with work, with my family, I'm always doing things, but this feels like I'm because I'm actually producing something and I'm putting something out there for everyone to check out, you know. So even in Instagram, like I don't even fucking really post anything unless it's really important. I don't like to saturate my page, you know. It's just me, unless it's like something really, really important or something that I like. But if you notice, I don't really have that many posts, you know. I don't really do that. And like I said, this is mainly my main focus is you, the listener, who's listening. That's it. You know what I mean? A lot of you are on Instagram, but that's the main thing. If Instagram was to just shut my shit down, it wouldn't matter. It would only matter to me, the people who are listening right now, which is you guys, which is cool. You know, I really, really appreciate it, you know. Because if no one listens, then what the fuck's the point of doing it? You know? Like, what the Songs to Save Your Life, it's too early. You know, it's still new, so I don't expect a gang of fucking listeners and shit, you know what I mean? Right now, it's only a couple. But I know with time it'll grow once people hear it. But what I'm going to do with that one is I'm going to fucking do, I was talking to Punk Bug, we might just do like a season, do one season, maybe like 20 or 25 episodes, and then take a break of like 2 months, and then let people catch up, you know, have them listen. If the listens go up, then boom, we keep going, you know, or change the format out a little bit, I don't know. But it's something that I like doing too. I want to keep doing it. I want to keep doing that one, despite if people listen or not, you know. But I think in order to come up with good fucking music, it's not hard if you know enough about music, but it is kind of hard to come up with a playlist that's really, really, really good that everyone's gonna like, you know, because not everyone has the fucking the same taste, you know. So that's kind of hard. So I'm gonna take a quick restroom break. What's up? I'm back. That's this band's cool. They are called Storong, and this song's called Europe Calls. Just thought I'd play that shit while I go use the restroom real quick. But yeah, I was talking about the songs to save your life, right? So I was talking to Punk Bug, and I'm like, fuck, dude, like it trips me out how people are into music, you know. And like for me, I wish I knew about podcasts like that fucking introduce you to new music, because that's like one of the best fucking feelings, is finding new music. At least for me, being a fucking music lover, like to the fucking 10th power, you know, like finding it, just you get an endorphin rush. It's fucking badass. But I trip out how so little people, because I talk about the podcast here on this podcast, yet those listeners aren't going over to listen to it. So that tells you, and I was like, fuck, that really trips me out. It doesn't sadden me, it just fucking, it's disappointing. Like, fuck, people. But then he goes, you know what, Jose, like not everyone likes music, you know, not everyone's, and I'm like, fuck, I don't understand that. That's fucking weird. But I don't know. I just don't get it. Everyone listens to the radio, but that's the radio, you know. But we're selecting music that is like the best fucking music, where you're not gonna skip through it, you know. And the radio is just repetitive, and you're gonna fucking listen to the music because you're hearing it so many times that it's gonna fucking just subliminally make you like it, which is what they do. They program it. That's what's called your daily radio programming, right? Where this is song select. It's like we're like song selectors, you know. Like there's DJs and there's song selectors. I don't say I'm a fucking DJ. I'm a song selector. So the fools that just throw on music and shit, but the fools that are DJs are fools that actually fucking mix it and shit like that. Those are fucking DJs, you know. We're song selectors. But yeah, so I was talking to him about that shit, you know. I wasn't bummed out. I was just explaining to him, you know, because I got to let him know everything that I think, you know what I mean, because we're a team, you know what I mean. So we're talking about that. And I was like, fuck, you know what? I just don't fucking understand it, So if you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. Songs to Save Your Life. I don't get any money because even though it's an Anchor, I'm fucking defunded because of this fucking podcast. But I don't give a fuck, But yeah, I'm not telling you because I'm gonna make money. Another cool thing, if you do like music, and if you are like all the people that are on the Patreon, all the cool homies, they get to listen to Songs to Save Your Life way before everybody. Like a week, sometimes 2 weeks. Sometimes I just fucking drop them all right there and you get to check them out, right? And also, they get to listen to the podcast before I release them. Sometimes a week, sometimes 3 days. Shit, for me, I'd be happy if it was one fucking day. Because sometimes, man, I listen to podcasts and I'm done. And I'm like, fuck, what the fuck should I listen to? Somebody dropped something, And I'm like, what the fuck? But sometimes you get, they drop shit earlier, and that's fucking cool. But as far as for me, I mean, like I said, if you join the Patreon, you could join for $5. That's fucking cheaper than a Starbucks. I believe the breakdown was like 19 cents a day, But I mean, I don't want to. I mean, it's cool. If not, it's cool. But if you can help out, you can help out. If not, it's cool. Like I said, it just helps out with a bunch of because I don't have fucking Anchor for this one, so I have to pay a monthly fee to get on and shit. Just helps with multiple things. The fact too that I'm fucking the only breadwinner right now, and then like fucking. I mean, we're making it. Thank God, we're making it, and that's cool. I was doing it before. But just me having to work so much more extra and more time, what ends up happening is like I barely even have time to do the fucking podcast. You know what I mean? But it's still something that I gotta do. Just like right now, it's fucking Sunday. I could be out there with my wife watching football, but it's a commitment. And there's people that listen, and I thank you for that. And that's why I'm here right now recording this. And hopefully you're listening to this on the Monday morning or Monday at the night shift, because I'm going to drop this right now at around 12 a.m. But good morning, good night, everybody who was listening, whatever time it is. Really appreciate your support and listening. Last thing I'm going to leave you guys with, I don't know if you guys like movies, but I have a channel that I subscribe to. It's called Pantalla, and they show a bunch of Mexican movies and movies that are in Spanish, right? And I think I only pay like $4 or $5, something like that. And the reason why I even got that channel is there was a movie that I wanted to check out. It's the kids are wearing like some clown makeup. I'll get you guys the name of that one. But the one that I saw right now, it was called Los Tigres No Tienen Miedo, or Tigers Aren't Afraid, is what the translation was. I know it's a better translation, but that's what the movie's translated at. I think you can fuck with the audio and hear it in English if unfortunately you don't speak Spanish like the rest of us, but that's okay. But the movie's in Spanish, and that's why I watched it with no subtitles or nothing, because that shit gets in the fucking way, right? So we saw it in Spanish. This fucking movie is magical. That homie Del Toro, the director, he gets some good reviews, but it's a badass fucking movie. And it's a fictionalized movie, but it is based on what happens in Mexico. Women and children disappear every day, and this is just a badass fucking movie. You'll love it. It's dark. I love dark movies, but it's reality. It's what's happening. It's on Pantalla. If you don't want to pay for Pantalla, maybe you can Google it or find it in one of those fucking streaming services. But it's called Tigers Are Not Afraid, or Los Tigres No Tienen Miedo. Badass fucking movie. You should really, really check it out. I don't recommend anything unless it's good. So trust me, it's good. It's got my name behind it. And that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to keep fucking boring you guys with this fucking, because right now I'm just from the fucking dome. I got a big brain, so it's from the dome. But I don't want to keep going and going and going and going and going. So everyone, thanks for listening. It's gonna get better right now. It's kind of like, like I said, I've been real fucking busy this month, but it slows down around December, so I have plenty of fucking time to come up with more episodes, get more guests. If you have a suggestion of a guest, if you want to be on, send me a fucking DM. If you don't have Instagram, then you can send it to Coffin Joe at Gmail. Coffin Joe with a K, Koffin Joe, Coffin Joe at gmail.com. Any suggestions, any questions, you can do that. I know a lot of people don't have Instagram, and I don't blame you. I just have it for this shit, but I don't even promote on this shit. I just rarely, even when an episode comes out, I don't even post it anymore, It's pretty much word of mouth, and I thank you that share it and tell your friends and tell everybody about it. That's very much appreciated. So I'll let you guys go for right now, and hopefully I'll come up with something next week. Si Dios quiere, everything gets better, and I'll have more time to do this, because I usually right now on a Sunday I'm not doing this shit. I'm kicking it with the family, but I didn't have time during the week, so this is the time that I'm freed up. So peace. Thanks everyone for listening.